man!
Not bad, old man.
How could I lose to that old man?
Just relax, old man.
Old man? What, you think you're not gonna get old, you little bastard?
Every time you insulted me, it only served to make me stronger.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the series where we're counting down the top Dynasty Warriors characters as of the latest game. And coming in at number 74, we have the old man known as Huang Zhong.
Do not disrespect your elders.
Huang Zhong on average ranked out to be the 74th spot. Let's take a look at the rankings to see why he's down here at number 74. In the first popularity poll, he receives 233 votes out of a total of 75,000, putting him in the 77th spot. In the second popularity poll, he ranks at the exact same position at 77. And then for my personal rankings, he ranks up at 44th. He's a lot higher on my list than the other two popularity polls. I always liked Huang Zhong. He was a pretty interesting character for me to play as. He wasn't my favorite or anything like that, but definitely was a lot cooler than some of the other characters that I played as. And I definitely appreciate the, the weapon style he uses, the bows, and of course the expertise and stuff that he brings to battle, being a lot older than some of his other comrades. He's always being patronized about his age. Huang Zhong is a man in his 60s. So Huang Zhong served under two people before he ended up in Shu. He first served under Liu Biao and Han Zhuan, and then he joined Liu Bei in Jing province. He's widely known for following Fa Sheng's strategy at Mount Dangjun and causing Xiahou Yuan's demise. Xiahou Yuan is the guy at the beginning of the intro where, he's constantly calling him an old man, and Huang Zhong actually ends up killing him, which we will go into later on in the video. He is hardly mentioned in historical records, but Romance of the Three Kingdoms famously describes him as a courageous elderly general in his 60s and a masterful archer who never missed his targets. He has been heralded as one of the 5 Tiger Generals after his death. So like I said, Huang Zhong is admired by his allies as a seasoned elder with vast years of wisdom. At the same time, however, perceptive generals like Yue Ying notices his flaws, such as his impatience or eagerness. He always wants to prove that despite his age, he is still a very capable officer and combatant. His dialogue usually consists of archery or various comments on others' age centered around his own. These nicknames include pup or youngsters. Huang Zhong places deep trust in his allies over the course of time he is within Shu's ranks, developing bonds with them that further light up his purpose to fight. So let's go ahead and jump into how Huang Zhong has changed since he was introduced into the game. Huang Zhong has been around since the second Dynasty Warriors games. He's been around since Dynasty Warriors 2, and he's only switched between 2 different weapons since he's been in the game, and that is between the Dao, or the sword, the broadsword, Chinese broadsword, and the bow. So obviously the bow, he's a masterful archer. Dynasty Warriors 7 and 8 is when he was given the bow to use as his main weapon, and then in all the other games he uses the sword. Now I prefer using the swords over the bows with Huang Zhong because with the sword, it just has the normal move set with the swords and everything like that, but with the bows, it's kind of a vulnerable weapon in a sense when you're just standing there shooting arrows. Sometimes the arrows don't make the enemies flinch, which means they can run right through you and ended up, killing you or doing a lot of damage. So it is a little bit vulnerable, and you have to do a little bit of like running away and then shooting, running away, shooting. It was not the most fun weapon to use, but it made sense and it definitely fit with Huang Zhong and who he was and all that stuff. But the swords, I think the swords were a lot better just playability wise, but the bows definitely fit his character a lot more. Now let's take a look at his appearance and how it has changed over the years. He's always had the white hair with the long beard, but his armor he wears, or the robe, is something that changes from each game. So sometimes he's wearing armor, sometimes he's got a helmet on, sometimes he doesn't, and he goes from this robe or like a light armor kind of look. Dynasty Warriors 6 is probably the only game where his outfit kind of stands out. He's got like a hunter's look. He's got like fur on him and braided hair, but all the other games resemble pretty much the same look of the robe or the armor with the long beard and the helmet, or and he doesn't really veer off too much from those appearances. But Huang Zhong's appearance pretty much stays relatively the same. And with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into his relationships, okay? So Huang Zhong doesn't really have, I wouldn't say he has really significant relationships among the Shu Kingdom. Of course, he, has relationships with Liu Bei and Pang Tong, and he talks to them, and, he's around and stuff like that. But he doesn't have, like, a significant relationship that's evident in his story or that like makes him, you know, a sworn brother with one of them or anything of that nature. It's just he's kind of there to help out, and he doesn't really have any significant relationships with any of the officers. At least the game doesn't depict him having any main relationships like that. In most of the games, it's him just talking or, you know, strategizing and stuff like that, but nothing too like relationshipy, if that makes sense. Now let's talk about his probably the most important role in this game. This is probably what people are going to know him for, and this is what I knew him for, and it's the death of Xiahou Yuan, the guy, one of the main guys from the Wei Kingdom, right-hand man to Cao Cao, and, you know, brother of Xiahou Dun. He's a very important character. He's in the beginning of the game. I mean, everybody should know who he is, at least if you play this game. Huang Zhong is the one that kills him as he charges down the mountain from the Battle of Mount Dingjun. The games depict several ways of Xiahou Yuan being killed.
Not bad, old man. I suppose I can let you win. Just this once. Dear enemy, you were an excellent warrior. However, every time you insulted me, it only served to make me stronger.
Come on now. Aren't you a bit pushy for a man your age? Let's see. If we can't just hurry your trip to the other side. You're mine now! That's nothing! It was a good fight, young one. All right then, old man. I'll see you soon. Listen, everybody! I have defeated Xiahou Yuan of Wei!
That is the most important, the most, you know, that's the biggest role Huang Zhong plays in this game. He is always the one that ends up killing Xiahou Yuan. Of course, there's some hypotheticals where you can save Xiahou Yuan if you're playing as the Wei Kingdom, but Huang Zhong is responsible for Xiahou Yuan's death. But each game, you know, takes that death a little differently. Sometimes, you know, Xiahou Yuan doesn't even die in that one. He just retreats, but that's, you know, that's the battle he's supposed to die in kind of thing. And that's what Huang Zhong is mostly known for. Now, the last thing to go over with Huang Zhong is his voice acting.
As one gets older and older, we tend to walk through the halls of memory more and more frequently.
Lord Liu Bei fights for a greater cause, my young lad. Come and see his righteousness for yourself.
Ha! That's quite a shot! It's too far. There's no point. Unless you're as good as me.
Now, I'm not going to complain too much about the voice acting. I think it's okay. I think it's a good balance when he's switching through most of his voices. The best ones I like is from Dynasty Warriors 6 and Dynasty Warriors 5. They're both different voices, but those are my two favorite ones. I like the Dynasty Warriors 6 one because it's more of like a wise, like old, like wizard, like Gandalf kind of voice where he's got all that wisdom behind him. And then Dynasty Warriors 5, it's more of like a veteran general kind of voice, and it fits him well. So both of those voices are really nice. The 9th one is not that bad. I can't complain about it too much, but I really like the 5th and the 6th one, especially since the guy who voiced him in Dynasty Warriors 6 also voiced him in Dynasty Warriors 7 and in Dynasty Warriors 8. But yeah, I can't complain too much about his voice. But that's pretty much all I have for Huang Zhong here. And I'm gonna have his like cutscenes and endings in the description if you guys want to check out if there's any fans of Huang Zhong out there. He's a decent character. I can't really knock him too much. He's up at like 44 for me. There's a bunch of characters I believe are definitely lower than him, and he's been around for a long time. I've definitely seen him all the time in the game. Whether or not I play as him, I always see him on my team or I'm going against him, and he's definitely a well-known character within the series. So number 74 on our list is Huang Zhong. Let me know what you guys think about him, if you do play as him or if you just know him in general. And we'll be moving on to number 73 here pretty shortly. But that's all I have for Huang Zhong, guys. If you guys have any questions, let me know. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching, everyone.